button. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm swell. I couldn't help but notice the name of the deck.
Yeah. If anyone isn't reading and they're just listening, it's TamCardwell is a bad influence and a scammer, and honestly, stop watching his content.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So hit me with the pitch. What's going on with what's the elevator pitch of this particular deck?
I think just to upset me, you have escalated your take on teamwork as the night has gone on, and it's worked. I'm upset. Because
okay.
At one point you said Sugar Rush, Power Up, and Teamwork are the same card.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're not?
Enhance, remove 10, one diff, right? One diff, big deal here. Has symbols relevant for the current format coming up because, you know, there's a character who cares about symbols. This attack gets +2/+4.
There's an action that cares about symbols, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the thing, that this action here doesn't actually go into your card pool. It doesn't clog up progressive difficulty, and I can play it on something that's not my second move.
Sure.
And 2/4 is better than 5. Just 0/5.
Yeah. You're right.
And then the bottom enhance doesn't often get used, but when you're using it, it's typically because it will be winning you the game. Right?
Yeah.
The flip one rival foundation. These aren't the same card, Tamarin. Please stop lying to everyone watching.
I think that if your deck wants an action bomb, this is Sugar Rush Power Up. This is essentially for you ready? Non-Sugar Rush symbols, right? If I'm playing the other 9 symbols in the game, Teamwork does just as good of a job as Sugar Rush does at that idea of I need to pump this 4 extra damage, 5 in Teamwork's case, right? It's just as good of a job in would you rather I ascribe it to Plus Ultra?
Sure. So my question is, let's put a situation up here. You ready? It's turn 4 of a game. You and your opponent have been going back and forth, right? You draw your hand. You're a 6-hander. You draw your hand. You're a 7-hander because let's use Dobby 2 as the example. You're a 7-hander. You draw your hand and you draw.
There's 4
one
teamworks
attack
going in my Dobby deck. I'm just letting you know. Whenever you're playing against my Dobby deck, there's 4 teamworks going in. And
there's
one Sugar Rush Power Up. I'm putting them both in.
Okay.
Now
so there's 1 attack and 2 Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
Or there's 1 attack and 2 teamwork.
Yeah. Oh, the Sugar Rush is better for sure.
Sure. It's turn 2.
Yeah.
Our opponent really hasn't done much. We've interacted with their board a little bit, but we're a 7-hander, so we built 5. We built 5, so there's 5 in discard. We've played an attack. We've played an attack. We played an action because we're Dobby, right? They're not interacting, and we've stunned their board because we're probably playing the fire symbol or something that has stun on it, right?
Yeah.
Or the all symbol, I guess, if you want to. I don't know if that has stun right now, but whatever. I think you're excited about all. We're at 10 cards in discard. Would you rather have Sugar Rush Power Up, which is +2 speed, +4 damage, or Teamwork? Teamwork is the enhance on Teamwork is exactly better in one situation. It's your second attack of turn 2, and you didn't get the 10 cards in discard.
I think that it's fine that Teamwork. So. I think
I'm down for the response being really good.
I think these cards are so incredibly comparable that many a times, you're right, the +2 speed has killed me. Many more times, I was gonna partial block it no matter what, and then the +4 damage put it over the top, or I was gonna live at 3 or live at 1, and the +4 damage got me there. I couldn't block it anyways. Teamwork just says that for literally 9 more symbols. If I have 4 action slots, I could easily see myself 2 and 2ing this under these 3 symbols. The 1 low block response is cracked, and sometimes I will Teamwork and then Sugar Rush after it. Like that's fucked, man. It's +2 +9. Like that's. But
I would rather just
2
play
cards out of my hand. That's 9
Sugar
damage.
Rushes is my
but the thing is like,
just...
how many times on turn 3 can you double Sugar Rush?
In the characters outside of specifically Dobby, but in the characters who were playing Sugar Rush, you can do it twice. It's Tokoyami and All Might 2, right? Those were the characters who were like the Sugar Rush characters.
Sure, but now anybody gets to have Sugar Rush without the speed.
If you check a 3 on a teamwork,
yeah,
it could actually be extremely detrimental. It doesn't leave your card pool.
Yeah,
like it has to kill them. Whereas Sugar Rush, you can check a 3
for the same reason that like enhancing on Plus Ultra feels that same way, man.
Yeah, but that's why Plus Ultra doesn't see any play anymore.
I think
You're not allowed to check 3s.
Plus Ultra doesn't see any play anymore because one of nature's a fucked up card.
Yeah, well, that's part of it too.
Set 2, right?
It fell off hard. It was in the sideboard of Chris Bromley Toga decks, and that was just so he could block Recipro Burst or whatever. Like if you go look at all the deck lists from the end of set.
Go ahead.
I'll say if you go look at all the deck lists from the middle and end of set 2, right? They weren't playing Plus Ultra. Plus Ultra saw play at like the first 2 events.
Sure.
And then people were just like, this is actually not very good.
I think this card is very good. I think if I squint my eyes, I could just make a case for it being Sugar Rush Power Up.
People don't play set 1 leaders is patently false, considering the top 8 of Worlds was all set 1 leaders, right? It was 4-0, a Midnight. I don't remember the rest. There might have been the recovery. I'm sorry. So it wasn't all 8.
Wow.
I lied.
Wow.
I lied.
Wow.
Set 3, the finals were Tokoyami and Jiro, Tokoyami and Tokoyami, Tokoyami and Mineta 2, Hiroshima 2 and Ojiro 2. So like if you think you're keeping a momentum against a player in this format, you guys are crazy.
Which is why teamwork is so good.
Yeah, sure, teamwork, but like so Sugar Rush doesn't need the momentum either.
Here's what I'll say. I am down to fold on the point of Sugar Rush Power Up is not teamwork. I am down.
Sure. That was my main. I don't care about the card. I think teamwork I think you are overrating it.
Yeah.
I could also see with set release Jasco going, oh, we actually meant you have to have 5 different symbols.
I have done all of my building, all of my talking about this card as it being 5 different symbols.
Really? You think so? Yes. What happens when you
played two different named attacks and it worked? It just
worked. But like if you just what happens if you're you play, I don't know, let me pick a character on the you play an attack that has all 3 symbols with your character, and then you play one that's like 2 symbols with your character. This card isn't live, right?
Yeah.
Like this card's really sick in my the I wouldn't play it, but this card like is good in the Shigaraki 3 deck I have, because I was looking at my hand the other day and I went, holy crap, I only have one. Like they're all different, right? Because the order symbols on all the order symbol cards are like combined with other symbols to make good cards. Like So I don't know.
And this is crazy, man. Under the order symbol, a symbol that doesn't have Sugar Rush Power Up, now any of your moves can be a kill condition because it's +5 damage. All of them. All of it. How much damage do you give Indiscriminate Shock on average?
7.
Okay, you're 2 off. Find 2 damage.
Yeah. I just don't ever.
This is a 5 damage move that I can tack on to another thing. That was a 2 diff. This is a 2 diff 5 check 5 damage move that I didn't have to like play, right? If I can make this one land, I can make this one land. I tack them on together.
Yeah. So you also have to remember who you're talking to. I am known blue and green card hater.
I get it.
And I just don't want to put a 1 low block in my I get the response. We're talking about the enhanced. The response is like good, but being a low block actively hurts it.
I don't think so.
You have decks that are like legitimately okay playing like 11 low blocks.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
I think and this quote Andrew Holder, I'm staring at my deck trying to figure out how to take all of the high blocks out because I never want to be showdowned ever again. I think that teamwork is going to see this fluctuation of people are going to come to set 1, maybe not because they listen to the Board State podcast happening every Tuesday at fucking 7:00 my time or whatever. And we have been shouting to the sky, "Showdown sucks. I hate getting showdown." And so they swing a bunch of low attacks. And then what's the best low attack in the game? Fucking Tongue Whip. And as the third card, I drop this one low block and block the Tongue Whip and look at them and go, "I knew you had the second Tongue Whip, and I don't give a shit. I don't care. I've got 7 cards in my card pool, and I could not be bothered. I'll block it on a 5. I checked my 5. I passed. Okay, go ahead.
Sure, I think one?
I think there is a lot of play with this card, and I think both of these abilities are good, and I think combined, I think this card is better than what Sugar Rush Power Up does combined. Truthfully. I believe that. I think plus 2 speed, plus 4 damage is fucked up. I think it is super fucked up. Don't get it twisted. I think this card is fucked up good. I think accidentally putting plus 5 damage on anything you want. There was a card in the game, and I'm sorry for being a boomer-ass boomer, called Gateway Shuffle, right? That said your ranged or tech attack gets plus 5 damage. And it had another ability that said, or plus 6 damage. It had another ability that says this attack gets minus 5 damage, right? So it had an
You're leaving out a key part of Gateway Shuffle. It said you could stack your deck for your next card.
Top card of your discard pile.
You may add, to top of your discard. I misread it. Okay, but for Fae. Got it. I misread that.
Yeah. It's a Fae card.
Yeah. Right? It's a Fae card.
So plus 6 damage or minus 5 damage as a card that's stuck in your card pool. Only on techs, only on ranged, right? Or is it just tech for the plus damage?
Ranged, tech, or weapon.
Ranged, tech, or weapon. Okay, sure. That card saw play under those 3 because it was just, here's 6 damage for free and a good minus 5 damage, right? This card says, I block with it, my next block is good. That's good enough to just carry the card. Just being like accidentally like, man, if only I can't pass another attack, but this 5 damage pushes it over. It's just good enough, man. Accidentally having this in your hand, my opponent being committed out, I can't play another attack card. Plus 5.
You're not. So the main reason I made this was the Sugar Rush and Teamwork aren't the same card argument.
Sure.
I just don't see it, man. This is like a super sick sideboard card, but like the only part about this card that I just dislike is that it got the infinity symbols and doesn't say your non-throw attack. That's the card. Like if you were like, I want to play this in like my throw deck, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, man. Jiro gets to play this. Jiro gets to, not giving 2 shits about anything, go play whatever bullshit move she wants into the double jab pummel, into the Ochako throw, and then play this one on a 5 as well to give it plus 5.
I just feel like a lot of times you're gonna end up with this in your hand and wish it was any other card.
I think that is completely and totally fair. I think that this card easily gets to be a 2 of in a lot of decks and feel it's at home, right? In the same way that Sugar Rush Power Up gets to be a 2 of in a lot of decks and feel at home, right? I think that you easily could put Sugar Rush Power Up at a 1 of and Teamwork at a 1 of in any deck and feel great. And one of these cards has the infinity symbol.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading chat. In set 2, Sugar Rush flipped a lot of creepy realizations at the start because Waterossi was still a deck. And that's how she killed you, was she would play a long string. Like before the Life Osui deck got figured out, you flipped on your turn, you flipped a lot of creepy realizations.
Sure.
I think on stream, we actually watched somebody like live on the opposing, because they played like an attack and they Sugar Rush flipped creepy, but like that's neither here nor there. Sugar Rush has a defensive ability, you just have to be proactive about using it rather than reactive. Like you have to actually decide, like, but I don't think Teamwork. So the other thing is, I don't think Teamwork's in the same tier as Sugar Rush. Sugar Rush kills people, and I think Teamwork puts damage onto attacks that are getting blocked.
Then I think
I
think you're playing bad Teamworks. I think you're enhancing on Teamwork poorly. Because like you just have to play around the fact that it doesn't get speed, right? Like spend other resources, understanding that like I've got this action card that just slams 5 damage out of my hand, so I should deck build that I'm not getting the +2, right?
I think a lot of the times I can just account for you getting +5 damage. Like when I'm doing my math, right? If I'm playing a defensive deck, right, I can account for you just getting +5 onto a random move. I can't always account for you having +2 speed. Like I have to play my turn like you're just not going to give +2 speed randomly. Whenever you're mapping out your turn and I go in my brain, I'm going, okay, this guy's playing whatever deck. If his line is exactly rapid punches into Texas Smash, I can account for you giving +5 damage. I can never, but in my brain, I'm going, So if I check 3s and 5, when I'm doing my math, I can't, the +2 speed, I just have to accept that you have it. And I just have to go, okay. We've had different experiences. A lot. The other part about this card is like against people who are playing aggro decks that are actively emptying their decks, so Dobbies and Tokoyamis, good players with Sugar Rush Power Up are terrifying. Ryan Field at the Origins Provisional went down to exactly 2 cards in his deck. Played a Frigid Heatwave, Sugar Rush Power Up to check the 1 off the top of his deck, right?
Yeah.
Or check the card off the top of his deck. Removed everything that like wasn't, essentially removed all non-attack cards. Drew the 2, and then like guaranteed he had attack. Like there's actual play with characters like Dobby and Tokoyami that are emptying their deck.
Yeah. With
draw effect, where you get where Sugar's Power Up also says enhance draw and attack. Like it comes up not all the time, but it's like relevant text on that card. Like it was the first time, like I was still relatively new, right? So it was the first time I felt like legitimately impressed with the decision making someone made.
Yeah.
Like Ryan picked up his deck, went, oh, I have 2 cards, picked up his discard pile, and like it was very it was the last card. He had 1 card. He played the Frigid, checked the second to last card. The Sugar Rush would have checked the last card, but because you pay cost first.
Yeah.
So it was just like very impressive to watch. Like it's one of those things, like curating your discard pile in an aggro deck like Dobby or Tokoyami or All Might 2 is like an actual thing.
And so because this card is not as nuanced as Sugar Rush Power Up, it makes it just worse?
I think that the 2 speed is a much bigger deal than just +5 damage, combined with like it's missing the nuance. I will give you that the response is very good, and this has a weirdly relevant keyword for some reason. Right? Like Coda gets to say
that Coda gets to do stuff with it. We didn't even talk about the fact that when you berserk, these count.
I just think teamwork for the I think teamwork like goes into very specific decks where a lot of times if I'm an aggro deck on these 3 symbols with Sugar Rush, I go, I'm probably gonna find a way to put 1 or 2 of these in there, right? Like the all Eraserhead decks that like one of my locals has been playing, he has 1 of them in there, and I always have to be thinking. I pick up his discard pile and go, oh, the Sugar Rush is not in there, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's, I think +4 is just like a much bigger deal than flat +5.
Sure.
For the most part, though, we're having a back and forth discussion. The original thing was I wanted you to tell your chat that these weren't the same card, because they aren't. I
think for the bit they are.
Oh my god, I hate it here.
I do think that these exist in the same play space though. +2, +4 is better than +5, but +5 is gonna kill motherfuckers, and I'm excited for you to watch that. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited to watch you on stream draw hands and go, man, I really wish this was not a +5. +5 damage doesn't leave my card pool. Or like you play it on your second attack.
I'm good with a 1 low block that I blocked the 3rd thing, and I get a chance to block the 4th.
And then your opponent plays Dark Shadow Ruin into Dark Shadow Ruin into, or Sound Waves into Sound Waves into Sound Waves, and you're like,
I didn't play Showdown, and I got punished for it. Yep.
Sure, you know what I'm saying? Like
I get you. It's a 1 low block, and there will certainly be times where the fact that like
so.
It depends on what you're allowed to block. Even partial blocking with this thing, like on a mid, to say that I get to actually block the real thing later is like huge, right?
Yeah. I think one thing that people are missing too is like we're joking about never getting blocked by high attacks again, but like Showdown's a real ass +3 high block. Like it actually is a commitment to block with it. You can never make it less than +3. Like I don't want people also to think that like this is basically a small podcast we're doing right now. I don't want people to think that Showdown makes high blocks completely canceled. I've been joking with my locals that high attacks are canceled or whatever, but like the cards that killed people in set 3 didn't go away. Dark Shadow Ruin, Texas Smash, Sound Waves, those all need a high block, and they're very difficult to block when you're not getting in. Like Sound Waves is denying you an enhanced step, right? Home Run Comet is like Determine does not. Determine says attacker foundation. Whoever designed the set was very smart. Yeah, Determine does not make it a +0, or else that card would be absurd, and I'd be slamming 4 into my Shigaraki deck.
True.
Because whoever designed the set thought about Determined, because they thought about Determined with Plus Ultra. The reason I thought it worked was because I was like, oh, they changed the rule on the Infinity symbol because of Determined Plus Ultra. They didn't want any deck to be like, oh, I have a +0, right? And then I realized, oh no, it's got to be because of Showdown. It's just got to be like they didn't want 0 block Showdowns.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that like I feel like teamwork is a very powerful effect, but the zone really hinders it, and I think the bottom enhance is not that great. +5 is a big number. Like 5 is big, and I like big, right?
Yeah.
Like, but if you have 5 or more symbols in this card, I just see a lot of situations where you are drawing teamwork and you're not actually getting either the +5 off, or you go, man, I'm really hoping I play this on a 7 and I don't check a 3. Or I play this on a 6 and I don't check a 3. Like, if you go for this, right, and you go, I don't know, on a 6, I just think that like the 1 difficulty is actually really relevant too. That's another thing about I think being a 1 diff means you can play it as your 5th card, and checking a 5 means you don't commit anything.
Sure. Yeah.
And it clears your card pool is like a big deal too. You can play it as your 2nd card and then not pay for it for the rest of the turn. Not that you should be really playing teamwork as your 3rd card. But.
So like, would you be okay if Sugar Rush had the infinity symbol? Like, if you could just do this on any card, on any deck. +2,
I mean,
+4,
probably not, right?
Probably not. Okay, well that's why this card is like just a little worse. It's just +5. It's got the 2.
I think I'm arguing the point
Every
that it's
deck
not a
can play
little.
Yeah. But I'm saying I think it is, right?
Sure.
I think that this deck takes and says that like you just get to just slam +5 damage in anything.
Yeah, I also just, again, known blue and green card hater. Me defending a blue card, right? I just like, for me, I feel like part of this is I have already done a little bit of testing with teamwork this week. Nate and I played games yesterday for a while, and I played some games I played a lot of games yesterday, and I was drawing teamwork in like mid-rangey, slower decks where I thought, okay, once I seize control of the game, +5 damage is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this low block, that means I get to like ignore progressive. And I would draw it and I would go, I wish this was a foundation or an attack or not this card.
Sure. Yeah.
And it could have just been a deck issue, right? I had it as like a 1 of in Shigaraki. I cut Showdown to 2 and put this at 1 in Shigaraki to test it. And then I also tried it in a deck that needed low blocks. I had a deck that had like 11 low blocks, and I was like, I don't know, I'll put 2 teamwork in. And I still didn't want it in my hand in every game I played. I was like, I'd rather
for that second deck, 7-hander?
6, I think.
Okay.
So, I can pull it up. I played so many games yesterday. It was 6-hander. I think it was the Eraserhead deck. Like I tried 1 Sugar Rush, 1 or 2. I like split the numbers to try it because I had 2 Sugar Rush. And each time I was like, damn, I wish this was Sugar Rush power up. Yeah, because it is this deck. This deck only has 13 low blocks on it. So, this was a really fun experiment for you and I. That was fun. No one else in chat enjoyed a minute of this.
I don't care. I thought this was totally fun.
Yeah, but I'm down to play it, and you and I can run our heads into walls playing the matchups and stuff. I just feel like a lot of the time you're going to draw it, and like the dream situations don't come up that often. I think, the biggest difference, I think +5 damage is more relevant against people who are just going to disrespect you and play their whole hand, right? Like, obviously. That's like obviously going to be better because it's 1 more damage, but like I think against when you're like trying to get your narrow margins at like the end of an event, the +2, +4 is going to be way more relevant than the +5. Obviously, you only get 3 symbols on Sugar Rush.
I think that like Shigaraki 2 now has a way that like when I miss lethal by 5, I didn't. Right?
Sure,
like,
and he's also playing a throw, so like
Toru 2 actually has an action that can try and kill people. Right? She gives the speed. I'll slam this for +5 and not have to make a bunch of checks to do so. These are all check 5s that I get to do, right? Having your mono throw deck, right? Like your mono throw tiger. That sounds so fucking lame, man. That sounds so lame.
That's because throws are cringe anyway.
Yes, true.
Yeah, throws are cringe. Throws should all get errata too. If you completely block this, it is half of printed. Tokoyami 2 is not a real deck, and no one can convince me otherwise.
Tokoyami 2? Yeah, not real.
We could play 100 games, and you could beat me 100 times, and at the end of it, I would go Tokoyami 2 is not a real deck. I don't know.
Eraserhead 1?
He might want it, but I think that like
it's +2/+5 and an action.
So on
right?
Death and Void, aren't they just playing like the issue is like it's good, but on Death and Void, aren't they playing like other actions? I think like the all symbol still wants Sugar Rush, perhaps +4/+4 versus +5.
It's +4/+4 versus +2/+5.
Versus +2/+5, which is like the argument gets closer,
right?
Yeah.
I think literally it is. Can you put speed on your moves, right?
Yeah.
Like I think playing it in Jiro is very good. I think playing it in Momo is very good. Ochako 1, it's very good. Ida, it's very good, right? I'll just slam 3 speed. I'll slam my 5 damage and just see what the fuck happens, right? But like Shigaraki doesn't need this card. Nomu doesn't need this card. Todoroki 1 doesn't need this card because they just give damage already, right? And the important part about Sugar Rush is the fact that it gives the 2 speed. But if you can just supplement that with a character that just gives 2 speed, then like you did the damn thing, right? Think about how yucky Asui 1 it would be, right? If she was allowed to play just I'll play this thing out of my hand, and my last one that already was very fast. I will you ready? I will not give a shit about my card pool, right? Because like having that +1 progressive like doesn't really matter because I'm fucking Asui. I'll play my frog kick. I play this move. Frog kick hits. I play this move. I commit Asui. I kick that. I ready it. I play this thing. This move just got +5/+5 in Asui. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing that I've done because, like, I set it up to do so.
Unrelated to what we're talking about, I think 50 card Water Asui gets kind of yucky too. This set where you like very similar to the Life one because of the Toga Quirk Pack Foundation.
I'll commit a Foundation with Midnight, and I'll give whatever move +4 speed. I'll play this 2 diff out of my hand as an action. I'm already playing Ruin. There's my +5 damage. So there's +4,
well,
+5.
wouldn't she just already have? She would almost already just want to have Summon, right? They were already playing Summon.
Correct.
So
Well,
like Summon
is +1/+1 across everything, whereas this
and
is
3 to my next check, right? Versus or 2 to my next check.
I think that you're allowed to play. I think you're like allowed to play this card, right? And you can play it in anybody. Just play it in anybody.
Present Mike 1 gives a bunch of speed, you know?
Hell yeah. It gives +1 speed for every 3 cards from a roof. Maximum 4.
Yeah. I'll play a Sugar Rush deck and you'll play a Present Mike 1 deck and you'll be like, haha,
you'll
gotcha.
show me. That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine Kirigiri trying to go for the backswing. I've got +5 damage on this one that accidentally kills you. I think it is giving powerful 5 without the momentum one time on the infinity symbol. I think is good, man. I think it is very, very good. I think it just like it's not a card you just slam 4 of in your deck and just like go for it. For the same reason that I don't think that this is I slam 4 of in my deck. Unless you're like doing the thing to do the thing, right? Unless you are literally Tokoyami or All Might 2. Literally nobody else plays Sugar Rush at a 4 of. Nobody. Not a single deck plays it at a 4 of. And I don't think that's what's going to happen with Teamwork.
No, it didn't.
Like,
how many did you play in your Shoto 1 deck?
What? I think I played it. It was either 2 or 3, but that deck was bad, right? So like.
Well, that deck was fun, right? I'm not saying it was good.
Bad decks for Teamwork, yeah. Then don't play Teamwork. Bad decks play it.
But
I get what you're saying, right? Like I get that the 2 speed will do it, but I think in the correct deck, I think Teamwork will do just as much work as Sugar Rush Power Up.
Sure. I will politely disagree.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? In the 2 major examples that you gave me for Sugar Rush Power Up, it was Tokoyami, it was All Might. 2 characters that don't affect the speed stat at all. And that's why that +2 speed really matters. In all the examples that I gave you for Teamwork, it was characters that didn't increase the damage stat, but increased the speed stat. And that +5 damage is going to matter. I think it is literally... There are more characters. There are probably more characters that hit harder with the damage stat than affect the speed stat, which is why like Sugar Rush Power Up feels more impactful because that +2 speed is more relevant for characters who don't get it, right? Like when you looked at like the Earth symbol had literally no speed buffs until set 3.
Yeah, true. I mean, like, I
so
get
teamwork
it, man.
in an Earth deck in set 2 didn't make any fucking sense. +2 speed made a big deal because it was +2 speed, and now this thing that was going to hit hard hits even harder and actually gets to land. But like, I EX2 my move. You're at 4, right? You're at 4, and I EX my thing, and I play my or you're at 5, right? I EX my jolt, so it's ungodly fast. I teamwork. That killed you. I got there.
So did Sugar Rush, right? You were at 5.
No.
Jolt is 4.
No, because I legally can't play those 2 cards in the same deck.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You legally cannot.
Cannot
that
do that.
That would be cheating. Okay.
I will lose the game. I make the check.
I've been baited
the hand
smarted.
shoots up. Judge. I lose.
So,
I drank the fizzy lifting drink.
My thought experiment for you is my last little thing here, right?
Sure.
Do you remember the start of the set 2 format when people legitimately thought Sugar Rush Power Up might get banned?
Yeah.
Do you think if Teamwork gets printed at that moment, people go Teamwork should be banned? I don't. Obviously, like this is like revisionist and we're like, whatever, but like I just don't think Teamwork ever hits the level of frustration that Sugar Rush does, because +5 doesn't leave my card pool, doesn't like I actually have to play this as my 3rd card in a turn, right? I can't do it as my 2nd. Unless I'm Momo or I'm playing Quick Creation. Like those are the only, or I guess Ojiro can sort of do it as not his technical. You know what I'm saying? Like there are decks that can get around that restriction, but this has to be the 3rd card you play in a turn.
Here's where I'm at. I think yes, and only because I'm gonna get annoyed at Teamwork, and I know it, because I'm gonna have some jabroni come in here and go on the good symbol, back alley haymaker into some other stun 2 move on turn 2, stun on my whole board, and go teamwork and kill me. That's going to happen. And that cannot physically happen with Sugar Rush Power Up. It just can't. It's not possible. On turn 2, I cannot +10 my move and be like, you got it? You got the right block? And then I will have the right block, but my entire board will be committed out, and I will check a 3, and I will say, wow, man, you really got me. And I'll click the end stream button, and I'm going to go cut down a tree. And I'm going to carve it. And I'm going to take my entire PC, all of my cards, and make a bonfire. Right?
Yeah.
I just, like, this card is accidentally going to kill people on turn 2 where it's not possible for Sugar Rush to do so. You can't double Sugar Rush somebody on turn 2. It's not possible. If my opponent overbuilds on turn 2 with Teamwork, if they play poorly, I'm just going to dome them in the mouth for 17 damage.
But yeah, I just don't want to like evaluate a card in the idea that my opponent's going to play poorly, right? I like to assume most of my opponents when I'm going to a regional are not going to play poorly, right? Like round 1 through 4, I might run into random person or whatever, but like round 5 moving forward, I'm playing against people who are like, legitimately trying to show up and do more than get their promos.
Sure.
Sometimes you do bad, and that's not the case, right? You start with a rough start, and so the whole day you're just like, what does Phil say, Randy Land or whatever?
Yeah.
You're, I don't know. I think so. The set 2 thought experiment thing, and I see someone said Osui would have messed people up with Teamwork. The issue is that like one of the legitimate ways you beat Osui was faith shielding her, or Sticky Balls put a non-attack card in your card pool. I don't think Osui could have played Teamwork. I don't think that deck was allowed to actually put Teamwork in the card pool. Because also, how did you get 5 symbols in your card pool? You then decided to play it on a 4. Like the aggro deck played on really thin margins. Like it was not the hardest deck to play, but it did play on like thin margins. Like it definitely couldn't afford to check a 3 on a 4 on an action. Now, granted, she could just be like, I'll fail it, but then she like loses a card in her hand. There's a lot to it. The water decks also I don't think would have played Teamwork. I think they would have just kept doing what they were doing, which was playing 75 card piles. But It was fun. This was a fun discussion. I don't think you're gonna sell me on it, and I could be totally wrong. We could go test, sometime this week, and you just beat me up, and I go, oh, maybe I was wrong.
I'm putting this at least like a 2 of in my Fire Dobby deck that we're playing, right? I think I'm gonna take some amount of cards, even just slam them in on top, and just like, it's the last card in my hand. I've already Sugar Rush power upped, and I'm just like, well, here's another 5. This pushed it over the edge, right?
Yeah. Like,
do you have it? And I think that's going to be the real thing about this card, is the Enhance is one of those do you have it cards. And then sometimes sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And the really, really skilled players are going to be like, I'm going to partial block with Teamwork and then have whatever zones in my hand. And you're going to look at your kill condition with me having 3 cards in my card pool and go, my math didn't account for -3 speed. And like, my math didn't account for -3 speed, not to mention whatever else you had. So fuck me. I whatever move you have next, imagine plus ultraing on whatever, right? It's just like, I could plus ultra, I could block with Teamwork and then plus ultra on a 5 as the 7th card of my card pool. I'm in. I'm down.
Yeah.
I think the response power is like super good.
People not played blocks in Tamron World. That was my argument. Is that
I think sometimes
I don't know.
I almost said something that made me and Phil not be friends anymore.
Uh-oh. Good? We good?
I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I just almost ran my mouth and ruined a friendship. All right?
I could not imagine what you could have possibly said about teamwork.
About teamwork. Sometimes you kill people without actions on turn 2 with nothing at all. That's what I'm saying. And this card's just +5 damage. It's gonna happen more. That's what I'm saying. This is a 2/5 damage move that if you can find a way to tack it onto this thing that like my opponent can't deal with, you just like accidentally slamming 2 of these on turn 2 when they can't deal with the move is fucked, right?
Yeah, Phil did draw fucking double stun 2, build a foundation card, and a triple frog lashing. He sure did do that against me at Origins. In game 1 of our Origins top 8 match. And then game 2, I just 4th kinded him. And then game 3, I went searing, and then after the second searing, he tried to attack me twice and then build and checked a 3 on every single card he built, and he died because I was 4th kind. And his whole stage was committed. But yeah, I don't know. I am not sold on teamwork. I don't know that I ever will be. It would take a lot. Not even just because I'm like, bro, if you can show me a video of living up to his example, winning a real, like, competitive level game, I'll PayPal you $10. I want a stream commentated match of 2 people playing not at locals, because I don't remember that. I feel like I was consumed so much content, but I don't know. Ochako 2 with Gale Force and Teamwork on turn 2? Sure. I mean, like, if you want to. You want to play your Gale Force on...
Ochako 2, she gives the 2 speed, right? But she doesn't need help with the damage. I think this card is going to help people. Decks that are like, I don't know how I kill people, but this flow deck is really cool and optimized, but I keep hitting them with 4 damage moves. And then I go, well, they're all 4 damage moves until one of them's a 9 damage move, and they can't deal with it.
I mean, for me, the other thing too is that, like, a lot of these like scenarios to involve, so like Ochako 2, right? I played a lot of her at the start of set 3 because I thought she was a pretty clean answer, and I still think she was. I think my build wasn't great, and then I gave up on the deck after the unfun stuff provisional.
Yeah.
I put a lot of time in her at the start or whatever, and like, I don't think she was allowed to play actions in her deck.
No. I don't think this is a 5-hander card. Right?
But,
for the same reason that, like, I don't think you play Sugar Rush power up in 5-handers.
Oh no,
right?
I agree.
This is a 7-hand size card that says that I don't know how to kill people with teamwork. That's how we kill people.
Jackety, welcome. First time chatter, Tam, while we're over here arguing with each other.
Mm-hmm. I tried learning to play the MHA, but couldn't grasp the concept of it. Game is hard, especially when you have bad opinions like Teamwork's a bad card.
I didn't say Teamwork's a bad card. I said it's not Sugar Rush power up, and it's not as good. How long has this been going on, Phil?
40 minutes.
Maybe actually 40 minutes.
Actually 40 minutes. Yeah, I hit the record button.
40 minutes. I'm losing it, Phil. I also think, Zachary, and I hate this because one of my least favorite. You know what one of my least favorite things about My Hero is?
Tell me when your least favorite thing about
the best way to learn the game, in my opinion, is to hand someone a deck that ignores what your opponent's doing, is trying to kill them on turn 2 or 3.
Yeah. That's kind of why I made that Midoriya 2 deck. That's just like, sometimes you check it too, but when you don't,
that's
turn them all sideways.
You know, not everyone gets to be Jose and sit down across from Christopher Bromley for 2 years before they go to an event and like, and just play control decks into Christopher Bromley, and like, not everyone gets to go to Rochester locals and sit across from Kevin Broberg playing Momo 1 and jam games or whatever. So like, the best way to honestly learn is to hand someone a deck that's like hyper aggressive and go, here you go, swim, sink or swim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure you're saying about Jose and Bromley. Okay, I thought that's how the Jose playing the game has been explained to me. Is that Jose just lost to Bromley a bunch? Oh, did he? Okay, I exaggerated the time. I will accept that I did exaggerate for the story's sake.
Good news is it's totally recorded, so the world will know.
Yeah, I did exaggerate, but yeah. Hey Tam, I gotta send you a list of questions for tomorrow.
What's happening tomorrow?
Is tomorrow not Tuesday?
Yeah, I teed you up.
Okay. Tomorrow is the board state podcast. Sorry,
he's flustered. He doesn't know.
I'm flustered.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
I gave him that. I teed him up. I set the ball, and he's like, "Wait, what is tomorrow?"
We are by request, which I think tomorrow is gonna be a lot of fun without getting too much into like the discussion of it. But we're gonna do set 3 in review. We're gonna go over the meta for set 3 for some people who might have missed it, who are getting back in because League of Villains is a cool set and Heroes Clash was a cringe set. And we're going to go over that and talk about how it's the most underexplored meta probably that will ever happen in My Hero. And then we're going to go over like 10 questions. It'll be fun. Shouldn't take forever, but it should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any other deck doctors or anything?
I
think you're free.
I have them. So I have them in the thing, right?
But they didn't actually.
But they didn't do it. And I don't think I'm going to do any that are off stream. I'll just do them next time because I literally did like 5 of them, and I'm a little deck doctored out, especially after
what's crazy?
Conversation with my good buddy Andrew.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I can actually refund myself my points.
Bye YouTube.